What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Jorge's House of Horrors, where we explore the darkest corners of human history. I'm your host, Jorge, and today we're diving into something truly terrifying. Not because of supernatural monsters, but because it actually happened. So go ahead, grab your snacks and get comfortable because this story is about to get wild. Go and get it. All right, you're back. Picture this. It's Manhattan Beach, California, 1983. Parents are dropping off kids at the trusted McMartin Preschool. They had no idea that by nightfall, a single phone call would trigger the longest, most expensive criminal trial in American history. A 7-year, $15 million legal saga that would destroy countless lives. What were the allegations? They were secret underground tunnels, ritual abuse, animal sacrifices, and occult ceremonies, all supposedly happening at a preschool. But as evidence was scrutinized in court, a troubling question emerged. What if none of it actually happened? So, let's go back to where it all began. It started with Judy Johnson, as she was a mother struggling with undiagnosed paranoid schizophrenia, who called the police claiming that her 2-year-old son had been molested by teacher Raymond Bucky. Despite finding no physical evidence, the police made a fateful decision. They sent an alarmist letter to 200 McMartin families, effectively saying, your child might have been abused, so start asking questions. Talk about a lightning match in a room full of gasoline. Parents, understandably terrified, began questioning their children repeatedly. When kids initially denied anything unusual about what had happened, many parents persisted, convinced their children were either frightened or had repressed memories. Police directed families to the Children's Institute International, CII, that's where a concerning situation transformed into full-blown moral panic. Now, the early 80s media landscape was ripe for exploitation. We all know that. Cable TV was bringing 24-hour news into homes for the first time, and nothing boosted ratings like sensationalism. Not much has changed, huh? The McMartin case with children, sex, and Satanism was ratings gold. Local reporter Wayne Satz began dating Key McFarlane, the chief investigator at CII conducting the children's interviews. This glaring conflict of interest went undisclosed as Satz reported each new allegation as fact. Headlines screamed preschool sex rings and ritual abuse. Geraldo Rivera's primetime special on satanic cults drew 20 million viewers, and we'll get into that in another video. And by the time Raymond Bucky, his mother Peggy, and 5 other teachers were arrested in 1984, America had already convicted them in court of public opinion. So, the interviewing techniques, we got to talk about that. The interviewing techniques used at CII would later become textbook examples of what not to do. Children who initially denied abuse weren't believed. Interviewers would press them repeatedly. We know what happened to you at school, or you feel better once you tell us the yucky secrets. When the children continued denying anything that happened, interviewers showed disappointment. But when kids began agreeing or embellishing stories with fantastical details, they received praise and stickers. Like any kid would. As memory researcher Dr. Elizabeth Loftus later explained, if you tell a child something that happened to them and you do it repeatedly, you can easily implant an entirely false memory. I mean, yeah, they're kids. They're young, their minds are still forming, and the children's stories grew increasingly bizarre. There were secret tunnels, hot air balloon rides to distant farms, and they were being flushed down toilets, witnessing animal sacrifices and seeing teachers fly. One child claimed Raymond had dug up a corpse for the children to dance with. Yeah, another described babies sacrificed on altars. I think we're still hearing stuff about that. Despite these implausible claims, investigators searched for tunnels, checked cemeteries, and examined airport records for hot air balloon launches. Unsurprisingly, no evidence materialized. Surprise, surprise. When the preliminary hearing began in 1984, 7 defendants faced 321 counts of child abuse involving 48 children. 48. By its conclusion in 1986, charges against 5 defendants were dismissed due to insufficient evidence. Only Raymond and Peggy Bucky remained. The actual trial didn't begin until April 1987, nearly 4 years after the initial accusation. By then, Judy Johnson had died from alcoholism-related complication, her mental health in tatters. So her son, whose allegations started everything, never testified. Inside the courtroom, the prosecution's case unraveled immediately. Defense attorneys showed videos of the original interviews, highlighting the leading questions and coercive techniques. Their experts in satanic ritual abuse were revealed to have no scientific training. Medical experts admitted physical examinations showed no conclusive signs of abuse. The search for evidence had been exhaustive but fruitless. No tunnels. No physical evidence, no photographs, no flying teachers. Children testified about abuse in hot air balloons, on airplanes, and in non-existent rooms. One claimed Raymond turned into a witch and flew around the classroom. Another said he sacrificed a baby and drank its blood. Wow. Things just don't ever change, do they? After 28 months of testimony and 9 weeks of deliberation, the verdict arrived in January 1990. Peggy was acquitted on all counts, Raymond on 52 of the 65 counts, with the jury deadlocked on the rest. After a second trial and another hung jury, all remaining charges were dismissed in 1993. The aftermath. Well, the McMartin case spawned similar allegations nationwide, following the same pattern of fantastical claims, coercive interviewing, and media sensationalism. It was hot at the time. Perhaps most tragically, the moral panic made it harder for actual abuse victims to be heard, which is sad. There were some positive changes, though. Reforms in forensic interviewing protocols, recorded testimonies, and trained neutral interviewers were needed. But the McMartin trial wasn't just a failure of justice, it was a failure of critical thinking, a reminder of how easily fear overrides reason when our protective instincts are triggered. The Satanic Panic wasn't just a footnote in American history. It was a warning about the fragility of justice when faced with mass hysteria. And really, that's just the tip of the iceberg, horror fans. The Satanic Panic goes deeper. On the next video, we're going to take you to West Memphis, Arkansas, where 3 teenagers were convicted of murder based largely on the fact that they wore black and listened to heavy metal. That's right. The West Memphis 3 case will show you how the Satanic Panic destroyed even more lives. So, if this episode chilled your bones, go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe, please. And also, let me know down in the comments if you want me to talk about something that you're interested in. Hey, I'm here to chat. I love this stuff. So, next video, West Memphis 3. And drop your thoughts in the comments once again. And did you live through the Satanic Panic era? Do you remember the media frenzy? Please, I'd love to know what your take was on that. So, this is Jorge reminding you that sometimes the real monsters aren't just hiding under your bed. They're the ones feeding mass hysteria on your TV screen. Until next time, sleep tight if you can. And remember, stay horrified, but stay informed. Take care.